Hello and welcome to Handy Ranch. Today I'll be showing you how I made these 4 by 20 foot garden beds. I'll be showing the tools I used, the mistakes I made. I'll give you some tips. I hope you learned something from this. I know I did. So let's get started. Alright, to start out here, I'm going to be cutting some pallet wood here we just had sitting around into 12-inch boards, and I'll show you what we'll do with that here. The idea we got is they're going to be 20 feet long by 4 feet wide, and then we're going to add 12-inch splices, 2 of them between the 10-foot boards, because there's all our 10-foot boards. We're going to splice them with the 1-foot stuff here we're cutting, and then we'll put some corners on, but I'll talk about those later. Okay, this is a good reminder to check the blade depth before cutting. And another thing you may notice that I cut really far away from the line. We're not trying to get these perfect. Like I said, it'll just be splices for the middle part. So, we don't really care that we're just using scrap lumber and stuff we got for free. So I'm not really trying to be perfect here. So I'll fix the blade depth and we'll keep cutting. Okay, this is an annoying thing about pallet wood. You have the nails. I got hung up on the nail when I was pushing the saw across the wood. So, if you are going to use pallet wood, make sure you disassemble them by taking the nails out. And there's a way to do that without, just digging for each nail and pulling them out with a hammer. I saw a video somebody did it using just 2x4s and lifted up the pallet and hammering the wood out of the nails. You'd have to see the video to know, but don't cut them because it leaves these in and they're really annoying. So I'm going to have to hammer them down a little bit so I can get the saw to glide across the wood, and then I'll keep cutting. Still getting hung up somewhere. What am I getting hung up on? Well, now I'm getting hung up on the clamp. Take 3. So I'll show you here. I'm probably going to use a fence on this line because I don't want to stray too far away by accident with the saw, because there are nails, because how they were disassembled is they're just cut the nails with the Sawzall. But like I said, you run into problems doing that. So if you're going to use pallets, don't cut the nails, because it kind of makes a mess later and you have to deal with all kinds of problems it makes. You don't want to destroy your saw blade on it. So I'm going to set up a fence, make sure I don't stray from that line. So I got about half of them cut. So I'll show you again here quick. We're going to be putting 2 on the connection. Like I said, this is 20 feet. Those are 10-foot boards. and we're going to put two of them together, splice them with the pallet wood, and we're making 4 boxes, so this is 8 of them. This will cover 2, so I'm going to cut a few more. My brother marked them all out for me, so it made it easy to just chop them. Like I said, we're not worrying about, perfect or anything, just because, it's just scrap wood. It's all beat up, and we're just going to use it for splicing anyway. So we got all these pieces cut here, 16 in all, because we're making 4 boxes, 2 on each side. And now I'm going to worry about putting the corners together. I'm going to cut the pieces for that, and we're going to use 4x4s. We have some scrap from pallets, and we have some over here. Those are too short, and then there's pressure treated, and we don't want that pressure treated stuff leaching into the ground. So we're going to cut some 2x4s, 7.5 inches tall, 2 of them, and then glue them together to make it's going to be more of like a 3x3, but it'll hold the corners together. It'll be a little stronger. So I'll get them up on the table, mark them, and start cutting them. Now I just figured out something about our 2x8. Usually they're 1.5 by 7.5, but our 2x8s are actually 1.5 by 7.25. So I'm going to be measuring them 7.25. Feel kind of cheated on that. I don't know what the deal with that is. I got them all marked up here, and then we'll chop them. Okay, so I cut one board here. This is just one board, and like I said, 2 of these for a corner, and we'll need probably about 32 of them. So that's about that's 6 corners, and here's how much waste we got. So that's pretty good. I just need to cut some more, and then I might glue them together while I'm before I cut them. I might glue these together before I cut the other ones, so let the glue dry, and then when we're ready to put them all together, they'll be ready to go. So I'll throw another board up here and keep chopping. Okay, so I'm going to mark this just like I was doing the other ones. 7.25. I want to show you something here quick. I've been using a fence to help me get these accurate on the cuts, and just using a speed square. But I was using a ruler to measure from the edge of the blade to the edge of the plate, and then you'd measure from your line with the ruler and move this where it needs to go so that you'll have an accurate cut. Problem is, I cannot find that metal ruler I was using. It came off of a metal square and I cannot find it anywhere. So I'm using the saw. Now this isn't perfectly accurate, but it's going to be pretty accurate. If you use the laser, this is going to be the junk side. This is the piece we want. I just put the laser just a little bit past the line, so that makes room for the curve of the saw teeth, and then you don't need the ruler. And it's like not going to be as perfect as the ruler is, but it's going to get you pretty accurate on that line. Okay, well, there's the second board. This is for corners. Like I said, there's 16 corners. So this is 6. Here's 6. Here's another one. So that's 13. And then we're going to use these ones. 14, 15. And then I got to cut 2 more 2x4s out of this board here. This is another 2x4 by 8 feet. I'm probably going to cut these ones when I get to it with the handsaw because they're full of nails once again. And I don't want to, pull them out or risk beating up the saw teeth on them. And I can be a little more, have a little more maneuverability with the handsaw. So I'm going to put this up on the table and get 2 more blocks cut off of it. Then I should probably glue these ones first though, because then it'll give them time to dry and then we'll get to working on them. Well, turns out we actually don't have 3 2x4s, but I have another one from a different project. I built a chicken coop and I had some lumber left over because in the instructions for it, the supplies were a little over in some things, like there was too much of some stuff. So we had too much 2x4s, and luckily that'll work great here because I need some. It's got a little bit of paint on it. Not a big deal. Just mark it. Cut it. There we are. Last one there. Just glue these together and chop those with the handsaw. That's going to come right to the nail on that side. Former. That's the side with the big nasty thing on it. Well, I'll probably have to cut off this side. There you are. Clamp them and cut them. I just have a little bit of trouble getting started. Okay, now it's time for the next one. That last one didn't turn out like super great, not super square. It's okay, this is junk wood. It's going to be in the ground. Well, not exactly in the ground, but it's going to have dirt on it. So it's not too critically important to have the top square, although I do want to try my best. And I don't want to get my saw destroyed on nails. Whoa. Maybe I'm being a little too aggressive here. Okay, there we are. It didn't turn out actually that bad. Well, I think I'm a little aggressive, not letting the tool do as much of the work as I should. So I'll have to try better. But it turned out okay. It smells really piney. I think it seems kind of wet inside. I think now what I'll do is probably put the pieces together, at least the 20-foot one. I'll show you that in a second. So here, we're going to use these 2x4s, the pallet ones, to strap together the 10-foot boards, which are those ones, these ones here, and we're going to strap them with these. And we're going to use, I'll show you the screws I'm going to use here. Torx heads. I love Torx heads because they don't strip as easily. They're really easy to drive, and these are 2 inches, and they have a lot of grip on them, and they work great. So I'm going to probably use those. Have to dismantle this pile here and get the 2x8 by 10 feet out so that we can strap them together. And then all the cuts that are left is 4-foot cuts. We got one 8-foot board here, and then these are all 10-foot, and then there's another 10-foot one somewhere down in there. And we're gonna have 2 feet of waste, but we can probably find something to use that for. I'll recycle it somehow. So I'll get started on dismantling that pile and laying it out so we can build it. Well, I got 2 of them out, and that's pretty long. They're pretty heavy too. So I'm not exactly sure if 2 12-foot boards here, 12-inch boards are going to hold this. So, I guess I'll just have to try, because, what else am I going to do? We do have some extra lumber here. We might try to reinforce it, but we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. Well, that about wraps it up for part 1. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to know when I upload part 2 of this. I hope you enjoyed. In the next video, I'll be showing building the sides, these sides, and problems we ran into and whatnot. So, until then, have a good one. Bye.